Okay, here we just have a proportion that we have to solve. We can cross multiply, divide. We'll do 4 times 3, which is 12, and then divide by 8. That doesn't turn out to be a whole number, but we can reduce that. 8 goes into 12 once, so we could either just reduce it. You can divide both of those by 4, and divide by 4, which would be 3 over 2, or you could write 1.5, or you could write 1.5. So any of those answers would work. 12 over 8 will not work because it must be reduced, but it could be an improper, a mixed number, or a decimal. I'm just going to put in the improper, 3 over 2. Good. Okay, another proportion we need to solve, cross multiply, divide. 7 times 9 is going to give us 63. 63 divided by 8 is not going to turn out so nice. Let's see. 8 goes into 63 7 times, and that's 56. And then we would have 7 left over out of 8. We could make it into a mixed number like that. You could make it a decimal. Actually, we can just leave it as 63 over 8 as well. Okay. Okay, here we have proportions again. When we set up our proportions, we want to include our labels so we know where to put the numbers. It says 3 erasers cost $4.41. So our labels are erasers and money. We'll do money and erasers. So 3 erasers, the 3 goes where the label erasers is. 441 goes on top of that because that's how much 3 erasers cost. If the numbers are in the same sentence, they need to be in the same ratio, on the same side together, okay? Then it says, which equation would help determine the cost of 4 erasers? That 4 has to go in the bottom, because that's where erasers are. Question mark on top. Now that's how I set up the proportion. Now, there are many ways to set up proportions, but as long as we are cross-multiplying the same numbers that we have, the proportion over here will work. So we're looking for a proportion that has 441 and 4 at a diagonal from each other. So this has 4 and 3 at a diagonal, that doesn't work. 4 and 3 at a diagonal, that doesn't work. 3 and 441 at a diagonal, that one doesn't work. Here we have 4 and 441, just like our proportion. So that is the one that would work to solve this problem. All right, let's try one more. Okay, again, we want to put our labels. We have rubber stamps and we have money. 5 rubber stamps, the 5 goes where rubber stamps are. 970 goes underneath it. Same sentence, same side of the proportion or same ratio. How much for 11 rubber stamps? 11 goes on top because that's where the rubber stamps are. And we are looking for a proportion that cross multiplies these numbers, 970 and 11. So here we have 5 and 11, that doesn't work. 5 and 11, that doesn't work. 5 and 970, that doesn't work. 5 and 970 again, that doesn't work. So actually none of them work. None of them have 11 and 970 at a diagonal like ours. And that's true, none of those work to solve the problem. Okay, putting on some sunscreen. This guy uses 3 milliliters of sunscreen to cover 45 square centimeters of his skin. So we're setting up a proportion. There's our labels right there. We have milliliters and we have square centimeters. So then we need to plug in our numbers. Remember, if they're in the same sentence, they're going to go on the same side of the proportion or in the same ratio together. So 3 is going to go on top because it's milliliters, goes with millimeters. 45 is going to go with square centimeters. Okay, we're trying to figure out how much sunscreen to cover 240 square centimeters. 240 has to go on the bottom because that's where square centimeters are. Question mark on top. Okay, we're gonna cross multiply, divide. We're gonna multiply 240 times 3, and then we're gonna divide by 45. So 240 times 3 would be 720. And then we're gonna divide by 45 is 16. All right, so it takes 16 milliliters of sunscreen to cover 240 square centimeters of skin. Good. All right, one more story problem here. Writing up proportion. Eliana drove her car 81 kilometers and used 9 liters of fuel. There's our labels again, kilometers and liters. She wants to know how many kilometers X she can drive on 22 liters of fuel. She assumes that her car will continue consuming fuel at the same rate. Okay, how far can she go on 22 liters? So we need 22 liters. These numbers are in the same sentence. They're gonna go on the same side of our proportion. So it's 81 kilometers, that goes on top, 9 liters on the bottom. How many kilometers for 22 liters? 22 has to go on the bottom because that's where liters are. We will cross multiply and divide. So 81 times 22, and then we divide by 9, gives us 198. So 198 kilometers is how far she can drive. One more link here. At Buffalo Mild Wings, the price of chicken wings depends on the number of wings that you order. If you get 8 chicken wings, it's $5. 16, $8, 24 for $10. Okay, we need to graph these points. So we have 8 for $5. We have 16 for $8. And we have 24 for $10. So let's graph these points. So we have to move the dot. We have chicken wings on the bottom, price on the side. So we need to move it to 8.5. That's where the first one goes, and we need 16.8. 16.8, okay. And then we need 24.10. Okay. Good, looks like they're in the right spot. All right, at Buffalo Mild Wings, is the price of chicken wings proportional to the number of wings that you order? So we can look at the graph. Does this look like a straight line that goes through the origin, 0, 0? It looks like a straight line, but it does not look like it goes through the origin. So I don't think it's gonna work. The other way we can tell for sure, if we do the bigger number divided by the smaller number, we should get the same ratio each time. That would be our unit rate or our constant of proportionality. So 8 divided by 5 is 1.6. 16 divided by 8 though is 2, so we already know that it's different. We're not multiplying the numbers by the same thing to get the next one each time, so then it's not proportional. It's not gonna work. And that matches what we thought from looking at the graph. Looked like it could be a straight line but wasn't going through the origin, which it's not. So is it proportional? No, it's not. Okay, how many proportional relationships do you see? Remember, it has to be a straight line that goes through the origin, 0, 0. So of these 3 lines, only the blue one is going through the origin. They're all 3 straight, but only one is going through the origin. So, oh, there's my answers. I would say 1 is proportional. All right, good luck on your practice.